right, we're live once again. We got my boy Unbreakable Kicks,
Yep, what's up, y'all?
Chicago's own, repping for the Shaw.
Yes, sir.
I'm not gonna lie, I ran past your page. I don't know, it was just something that popped up. And I'm like, yo, this kid got a lot of Jordans.
Something like that, man.
A lot of Jordans. And I'm like, is it a Chicago thing or he's just into Jordans? But when I found out you was from Chicago, I put two and two together. I was like, okay, he got a lot of heat. So just tell us the experience you had from SneakerCon, like from yesterday and today.
Okay, like I was saying, SneakerCon it's a blessing, you know, just to be able to interact with all the subscribers, the viewers, the people who follow you on Instagram. It's just a blessing to see how much support you have from non-family members to come up and want to get, you know, pictures and autographs and things, and especially finding some heat. That's what I love to do, come out and find some heat.
So you mentioned people coming up to you. I have a platform on Instagram, and I'm from New York, and how is it? Like, how is the reaction? Because sometimes it's like you don't know how people's going to approach you in the street. You could be with your lady or friends, and it's so random. Like, how do you handle that?
I try to handle it just as cool as possible, man. You know, sometimes I'll just be going to the gas station and somebody will stop me like, Unbreakable, you know, and it's just something that you got to get used to. I'm fairly new to, you know, the YouTube community, so, you know, being out with my wife and being out with my daughter and somebody stop me, Unbreakable, you know, it's humbling, and sometimes it can be overwhelming, but it comes with it. It comes with it.
Yeah, like I try to stay humble, and I appreciate everything. Like, I mean, people coming up to you, asking for pictures. It's just an overwhelming feeling. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions, and just answer it to the best of your ability. So the first question is, what got you into sneakers?
What got me into sneakers is just the love of it. Watching Michael Jordan play, I was 7 once he won his last championship, so actually being able to see him and remember him play in 1998, the last shot, you know, that got me into it. And being on 75th and Jeffrey, that's, you know, a street on the east side of Chicago, being 7, 8 years old and seeing this guy walk around with some Chutney 13 lows. That was like the first shoe that comes to mind when I think of Jordans, is the Air Jordan 13 low Chutneys. And ever since that, I was just like, I gotta get into sneakers. Sneakers it's what's hot.
And that's at 7 years old.
That's at 7. That's at 7.
Okay. So the second question is, top 3 sneakers of all time.
Ooh, top 3 sneakers of all time. Man, you threw me on the spot with that one.
Yeah, I gotta ask the questions I feel like other people's not gonna ask you.
Yeah. Well, if it was up to me, if I had to leave the earth with 3 sneakers, it'd have to be the Air Jordan 11 bread.
Okay.
It would have to be the Air Jordan 4 bread.
Okay.
And the last sneaker will have to be the Air Jordan 3 black cement. Those 3 are
no order.
No order.
Just top 3.
That's that. It may not be my top 3 of my collection, but those 3 shoes are one of a kind.
And those are must-haves.
Must-haves.
Okay. So, next question. What's one of your most memorable sneaker stories? Like camping, whatever, like anything that just always stood out to you?
For those who are subscribed to Unbreakable Kicks, they probably will know what story I'm about to tell, but Air Jordan 11 Concord, back in 2011.
Okay.
Once that shoe released, I actually camped out in the bathroom at the mall for about 3 to 4 hours trying to wait, because at that time they had remember when they had the 12 a.m. releases?
Yes.
When
midnight.
they released shoes at 12 a.m.? I remember they stopped that. So camping out in the bathroom for a couple hours trying to get the Concord 11s back in 2011, and still wind up taking the L afterwards. So, yeah, and if you remember, the Concords 11s were highly faked. So it was extremely tough to get a pair of Concords 11. There was no StockX. There was no Go. The only thing there was eBay and your local store. So
Yeah.
it was tough to get an authentic pair of Concord 11s.
Okay, that's a dope story, man. And the story is you didn't end up getting the shoe. So, all right, I get it. So, if there was one sneaker you could own that you do not have in your collection, what shoe would it be? If there was one shoe that was like, wow, like, could be a sample, it could be
Yeah.
any type of shoe.
Believe it or not, it would be the Air Jordan 3 Oregon Pit Crew. The Pit Crew 3,
Yeah.
that shoe right now is on my hit list.
Yeah.
I need to have that shoe before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I know they just dropped the Oregon 13s, the
Not the
black
same.
and yellow pair. Those are dope, but
It's not the same.
as we go along in the years, those shoes are starting to get more non-existent. The Oregons, those started coming out around 2010, so the original lineup, if there was only 200 pairs made, most celebrities have those. It's slim pickings right now.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fakes. A lot of fakes.
Tons of fakes.
All right, so let's move on to the next question. What's your holy grail?
My holy grail of all time, it probably will be the Ray Allen 13. And I say the Ray Allen 13 because that was the first shoe that I spent about $1,300 on. So I actually wore the shoe too. I wore it last year when I met Kites for the first time.
Okay.
And yeah, that would definitely be my holy grail. Another shoe that's highly faked. A lot of people don't have the shoe also, so definitely one of my holy grails.
All right, so it's a holy grail because of the price, or is it like a sentimental value? Meaning for you?
The meaning for it, I'm also a Ray Allen fan. I would like
Okay.
to start collecting some of his PEs. When it comes to basketball player PEs, I feel like Ray Allen is the king of having the dopest PEs.
Yeah, Ray
like
Allen.
those Ray
you
Allen
got
8s,
Derek
those
Anderson. You got
those
Mike
are cold,
Bibby.
bro.
Yeah, you got a lot of people, but I think Ray Allen's kind of stood out because when you start naming those old players, Ray Allen had pretty much the better career, longer career, and I think he was highly favored by Mike. Like when it came to the old athletes signed by Jordan Brand.
And respected, and highly respected.
Yes, very respected. All right. So do you think sneakers changed your life? Honestly.
I would say sneakers is starting to change my life now, especially when it comes to, doing my YouTube channel. YouTube has blessed me a lot, and I'm not on the platform as, some of our other influencers, but, just being on YouTube, I tell my wife, doing a video a day will put the debt away. I graduated from college, and I had college debt. So, being able to do YouTube and having sneakers and starting my own sneaker business has allowed me to prosper more, has allowed me to pay off some debt, help me pay my car note off, etc. So sneakers definitely has changed my life.
Okay. That's very fair. So what made you want to start your YouTube channel? Like what motivated you? Like did you have any other social media before YouTube, or what started all right, I want to get up and start doing videos, or I can do this?
Originally, what made me want to start my YouTube channel is just spreading the knowledge of sneakers. You got so many fakes. You got people getting scammed. So, I originally wanted to do it just to help those out, to, tell them, when you're buying off eBay, to look to make sure that the person has a good rating, or make sure that in the description section it says 100% authentic when you're buying sneakers. And then just to showcase my collection that I have. I know before YouTube, I already had a decent collection, so it was just showing people that you can start doing YouTube now. I wish I had started while I was in college. I feel like I'll be farther along. But it's just showing people that at this day and age right now, you still can start a YouTube channel and be successful.
Okay, so Monday through Friday, me and the SneakerCon crew, we go live on Instagram, and we have a particular day, that we do real versus fake. And we explain and we show details like how people could point out certain things on fake shoes. How do you feel about people spreading that message because, you know, people that make fakes, they go out, they watch videos like that to try to perfect it. Like, how do you feel about people spreading that news? Like, you got fake education, you got people, Yeezy Buster, you got people like that. Like, how do you feel about people actually giving that knowledge to the consumers?
I feel like the knowledge is everything. Without knowledge, you will lose tons of money. You pretty much won't even be able to prosper in the sneaker community without having the proper knowledge on what to buy, when to buy it, how to buy it, what to look for, what flaws to look for, because, you know, everybody would be going into it blind if we didn't have people to actually teach us and lead us through finding what's real or finding what's unauthentic. And I feel like something that I've been trying to get into is buying legit early pairs. I know that market really hasn't been tapped into as far as the knowledge, because a lot of people believe that just because you got an early pair of shoes, it's automatically fake. But it's levels to it. It's levels to it. So, you know, I feel like that's an untouched market. I feel like guys like, you know, Bull and Tony, once they first started out, they hit home on the real versus fake. So a lot of people, you know, not necessarily perfected that, but now we're in an age where buying early shoes is kind of looked upon as being bad because you don't know necessarily if it's an authentic shoe.
Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, they variants, they this, they that. Yeah, you're right. So last question. It's really not a question. Just tell the people what you picked up yesterday and today.
Okay, well,
at SneakerCon.
Okay, at SneakerCon, what I picked up yesterday, it's a pair of shoes that kind of escaped me from a while, simply because originally it was supposed to release back in May, but you know, ever since Drake left Jordan brand, this shoe has kind of been postponed, and that's why we got the push of the Travis Scott so hard, and that's why they've been promoting it so much. But yesterday at SneakerCon, I picked up the Air Jordan 4 Raptors. We still don't have an official release date on the shoe. You know, it was originally supposed to release a couple months ago. Then Drake left to sign with Adidas. So we still don't have an official release date. So in my eyes, that's theoretically a sample shoe because it hasn't released and we still don't have an official release date on it. And what I picked up today, I picked up some Mike Bibby PEs. So I know a lot of people who watch my channel, they know that I've been kind of going hard on the PE. So
yeah,
I had to pick up another PE.
That's an expensive market.
It definitely is, bro.
I'm into it too. It's very expensive.
Something that I refuse to tell my wife about. Yeah, she can't know how much you spend on the PEs.
Yeah, I mean, it gets like that sometimes. So, I mean, we're going to wrap this up. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Love, brother.
We appreciate you coming out, supporting, and everything, man. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Love, bro. I appreciate you.
All right.
Hopefully. Is the sounding better? Still background noise?
Yeah, you know,
not as much?
we're doing a lot of different
Okay.
things. So like if we do a giveaway with one of your shoes,
Thank you.
know,
Yeah,
let's do it. That always, you know, helps because we still have a lot of women that represent.
that's right.
And so
I know we're
talk
few
about
and far
that.
between in this business.
We're live at SneakerCon 2018, and we're with Kel Shmimi, who has the incredible Make Monarchs Great Again campaign.
Thank you.
And I want you to tell me a little bit about it. This time, we're going to actually show you some of these hot kicks that she's created. So, Kel Shmimi, talk to me. First of all, give me a high level on what the Make Monarchs Great Again program is.
So the Make Monarchs Great Again project is basically just a project I started in January, taking the anti-cool dad sneaker of the world and basically just trying to paint on it, recreate it, reimagine it, and make it feel kind of cool, make it look different, and basically just trying to get people to think differently about what's considered cool and what's not.
Well, you know, I mean, talk about the design. What makes the Monarch such an iconic shoe? You know, I like the flavor. I think it's so now. Tell me about what you think.
I mean, the Monarch is here to stay. It's the most comfortable shoe ever. If you guys haven't tried it on, I highly recommend it. Once you put it on, you're going to have at least 10 pairs in your rotation. And, you know, it's just a classic. You know, you throw it on, your grill game gets upped exponentially, at least 10%. And yeah, it's just here to stay. It's a staple in the Nike collection. I feel like everyone should have one. They're beautiful. I love them. They're comfortable. They're sturdy. They make your calves look amazing. So, yeah.
Well, you know, I'm a dad, and I don't know if my calves need to look amazing, but I'm definitely going to get a pair now.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. So, you know, tell me about some of the people that you created these shoes for and some of the ones we have represented here. Can you take it and let's show people what you do?
Yeah, so when I first started, I was actually only creating them for myself because I'm selfish. And then once I started putting them online, people actually started buying them from me, come in with their own ideas of what they wanted. And I've had tons of people reach out to me in terms of, you know, wanting Monarchs, and it's kind of turned into this crazy thing. I've made pairs for Adam Jones, who plays on the Orioles. I just recently made a pair for DJ Snake, which is pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, majority of them are actually for myself, just because I said I'm obsessed with the Monarch. So yeah, so I got an Iron Man pair here, which is super dope. I mean, Iron Man is a staple in the world of customization. It's a theme that's been done a billion times, so I felt that it needed to find its place on the Monarch. And then all these pairs are pairs that I made for myself, modeled after pairs of shoes that didn't come in my size when they came out. So these are based off of the KD4 Nerf colorway. Yeah.
These are fire. I want
Thank
these.
you. Thank you.
These are hot.
If Dad threw these on, he's averaging a triple-double right away. These are based off the Kobe Mamba Curios, another colorway that didn't come in my size, so decided to reimagine it on the Monarch. Last pair, and my favorite pair, which is the first pair I did for the Monarch project, is based off of the Stewie Griffin LeBron 6 that came out quite a few years ago. It never went to retail. And it's a shoe that I've always been obsessed with, so I felt that it needed to make its way onto the Monarch.
That's hot.
Yeah.
You know, tell me a little bit about how you do what you do. You know, like I see so many different details on here. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I pretty much, for a majority of the shoes, I do everything by hand. To school for art. I was trained as a painter and a drawer, so pretty much everything I do is by hand. And then there's a couple pairs, you know, where the technique is a little bit different and it requires some airbrushing. So 95% of this shoe has been airbrushed, whereas 100% of this shoe was painted by hand. So it just, it really varies. Yeah.
Are these one of one, or do you make multiple kind, you know, in a style?
All of my shoes are one of one. I think it just kind of, it keeps people interested in the project. So if you follow on Make Monarchs Great Again on Instagram, I post a Monarch every Sunday because Sunday is Dad's Day. People get really upset if I miss a Sunday. So yeah, so if you follow along, they're all one of one. When people do order Monarchs from me, all I ask is that they come with a creative, unique idea, and I'm happy to make it for them.
Okay, I got one for you. It's Dad's Day. Let me see if I can get up some chips with my wife.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
see if we can get one done. I love it. These are hot. Well,
Thank you.
You know, thank you so much for coming. You know, can you tell me, you know, like the ultimate goal you want with Make Monarchs Great Again, and then we're gonna go ahead and sign off.
Okay, so the ultimate goal and the reason I started it originally was because no one was doing it. But I think like what the overarching theme that I've, you know, come to recognize with it is that pretty much any shoe can be cool, pretty much, if you just apply the right colorway or, you know, the right veneering to it. And I think it's just kind of a different way of thinking about what we as a culture deem to be cool. I mean, I think you
I
could
love
walk
it.
around here with a one-of-one Monarch and you'd be the only person with that shoe on, but I see like 1,500 people with off-white AJ1s on. Like, who cares?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's powerful. Being unique is
Yeah.
what it's about. And I definitely come from that school. That's how we grew up. You know, you weren't rocking the same thing the other guy
Right.
had. You
When,
know.
when SneakerCon first started, you used to wear shoes that no one had, and that was like the thing to do. And now it's like everyone just wears the same shit,
Right. Exactly.
so that people think you're cool.
Be unique. Be unique. And,
Yeah.
and the, you know, the sneaker school takeaway on that is you as an influencer need to find your niche.
Find
okay?
your way.
YouTube is narrow casting. You're finding a specific audience you want to target, and you're gonna you build faster with that small audience that cares about what you're doing.
Yes.
And this is a perfect example
Yeah.
of how you find a niche and then you own that niche.
Yes.
That's what it's about. That's what Sneaker School is about, is helping you to understand the game, what is the sneaker game all about. And we've got Kelsh Mimi here.
Yeah.
And the Make Monarchs Great Again, hashtag Make Monarchs Great Again project. If you got a pair of Monarchs, represent them on there.
Yeah.
And again, I'm making my reservation for my pair. This is SneakerCon 2018. And thank you again for coming out. What's your favorite shoe you've seen so far?
Mine, obviously.
Great answer. Great answer. So thanks again. We're going to sign off. And don't forget to come back. We're going to be giving away this week our special Yeezy 500 Moons. Sign up behind me in the booth, the Sneaker School booth. And we're giving away Kickstronomics is going to make you a custom pair of Jordan 4s around SneakerCon theme. Okay? So check them. Sign up. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. Cool. Thank you very much.
There we go. Both of you on the center line. We're at SneakerCon 2018, and right now we've got an exclusive. You know, this is Sneaker Conversations with SneakerSchool.com, but the key right now in this industry is who? Plug. Okay, there has to be a person who is brokering deals, seeding content, seeding shoes to the right people. And now we're going to have an exclusive inside look at one of the key Chicago plugs, Darren. My Winter Is, at My Winter Is. You don't know this face because you've never seen it before. Okay, Mr. Winter, tell me a little bit about this game in Chicago. How do things work here in the Windy City?
Well, it's a process. I tell everybody it's a process. Where I got, it didn't happen overnight. I actually started off camping. You know, I had a team. You know, as you met Mike earlier, you know, me and him were good friends. That's how we started off, camping out in line together.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that's how you end up, you know, thinking of the YouTube channel. You know, we'll be camping out, making fun of each other, cracking jokes the whole entire time, getting everybody involved in line, and everybody's laughing with us and stuff. So then one day, you know, Mike sat in the car and he was like, "Man, we should be recording this stuff." You know, like, you know, he's like, "We should like get this out to the public." Cause like,
Wow.
you know, Mike is just funny, being funny. He's like, "Cause you know, I'm funny." You know, and he's like, you know, he's like, "So people will love what I do." So he was like, and I told him, you know, one day I called him, and I told him, I was like, you know, everything starts at home. So I was like, if you want to do it, I was like, I'm with you, behind you 100%. Any shoes you need, anything. He was like, all right, from there, let's do it. So the process where I tell everybody the whole thing of just how I got here, being who I am today, as a person who's helping out at Chicago Shoes. I started off camping, you know what I'm saying? I got a team, I had like 5 or 6 people. My friend Yo Gray, you know, Gerson, I had my friend Jordan, I had my friend Mike, of course, you know. All of them, we started off just camping in line, you know, just every release.
What product did you specialize in?
Well, I would say just shoes, just Yeezys, Nikes, just anything that's limited, hot. That's what we try to go for. Get a bundle of it, as many as possible, you know, just to feed the public. And you know, throughout this whole process of me camping and doing what I was doing with you know, Mike and even Unbreakable Kicks, you know, Unbreakable Kicks was always in the background. He was somebody that we always looked up to. We, you know, asked him, you know, what you think of this shoe? Any shoes we got, that's what we started up to. We used to bring them to him to have him do the reviews and everything. And next you know, it was just like, we realized what we doing is a bigger picture to this, you know what I mean? So me, myself and I, somebody who just wanted to be behind the scenes, that's somebody that's always been like that. You know, I told Mike, you know, you're gonna get the YouTube channel, go ahead and do it. And, you know, I'll be behind you. Any shoes you need, anything you want to do, we can do it. So from there, it just, you know, and it's funny because I haven't hung out with Mike in probably like 2 months, but just being like, just from us being who we were and then him branching off, him starting his own brand, me doing, you know, my brand and doing what I'm doing for, you know, Chicago, it was, you know, it's like now it's like, man, we're doing big things together, you know what I mean? So I tell people, you know, the process of everything that you do, you know, it's just dream. Dream. Make sure you dream and you live by that dream. You stick to that dream. You don't let that dream go. You don't, you know, just don't let it go and don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I used to have to tell people tell me every day, like, oh, you're going to do that shoes and can you do that? Can you really make a living? Can you really, you know? And you look at it, resale is at an all-time high.
Right. Exactly.
For the past 2-3 years, it's been at an all-time high, and I see it getting bigger. I don't see it getting, you know, just, it's always something new, you know, especially with Nike and Adidas just brand warring, like Christmas time, summer, it's too much, you know?
Yeah. So give us a quick outlook. What's hot right now? What's bubbling right now that you see here in SneakerCon? What are you liking?
Well, of course, the Sean Witherspoons is on everybody's table.
Gotta have
that. To me, that was the hottest shoe with the 700s.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That I feel like that everybody really wanted to wear and put on their feet.
Right.
So, and that's why I feel like the Witherspoons was probably.
I'm looking for a pair right now. I don't see anybody who has a Witherspoon within reaching distance, but somebody got a Witherspoon. Bring it up so we can show people what we're talking about. Yeah. So what else though? What else is bubbling here? You know,
I want to say the Off-Whites, of course.
Right.
Off-Whites just took the game over within the last year, pretty much. Just out of nowhere by a landslide. I want to say by
any particular model that you think is moving?
The Off-White ones. It's everybody's favorite.
Right.
The Off-White ones,
Okay.
of course. And then, of course, everything from that first 10, that's like a gotta have now.
Right.
And then when it first came out, the Zoom Flies and the Blazers were like the least favorite, you know? And now it's like.
But they were a little more rare. I didn't see a lot of them now.
Now it's like, you know, they're all up there. So now everybody wants a Blazer, everybody wants a Zoom Fly.
I actually haven't seen a Blazer in here today.
I seen one table that had them. They had 2 pairs.
Okay,
One table.
Okay.
You know, like I said, the Off-Whites, man, just this past year and a half, just.
I see my man right here with my favorite. show me that.
The
Vapor Max Off-White.
The white one.
Let's show him that. Cool. What's your name? Nico. Okay, Nico. Thanks. So speaking of Off-White, we got one right here. This is my favorite. Cool. Thanks, brother. Nico, what's your handle? Let me shout you out. Or on YouTube Live.
Okay. Instagram x.supreme. Instagram x.supreme. Follow me. I'll follow back.
Okay, there it is. Okay, so Off-White right now
Off-White.
is bubbling.
It's just-
You know, here in general, I think that one of the things that is going on is, you know, I'm seeing a lot of just shoes I haven't seen in a long time, and that makes me feel good, you know?
Yeah.
What about you? What's a shoe you haven't seen in a while that you saw here?
Actually, it was a table somewhere in the middle. They had a V Alone Air Force One, the high top.
Wow.
And that's like you don't
Wow. What
you don't see
colorway?
that. It was the black and white one. I want to say it was a Paris exclusive.
Wow.
So like that was on the table, and I actually told the dude, I'm like, wow, like I'm impressed because I was like, I haven't seen that in here.
Right.
Oh, also the Travis Scotts right now.
Travis Scott's are bubbling.
So they came out today, and people are going crazy for them right now.
Check my Instagram feed at Technomech. I just posted a pair.
So yeah, that's a crowd favorite. He's actually like the culture right now for music and clothes. Like he wears Supreme and all the Jordans and all that stuff, and so. As the sneaker culture, we look up to him.
Right. That's you know, again, he's got style. He's the cat
Everything,
right now. Everybody's
like,
following his style because he's a very original person.
And he wears stuff that a hype beast would wear. You know, Supreme box logos.
Exactly.
You know, with the jeans and the nice shoes. So that's pretty much what's here. You know, so we all look up to that. That he brought that culture to the music. You know, and for him to see what he's doing with Nike is just amazing to me, you know. So, like, it's just this is his second shoe right now, and it's already like the second hottest thing. The first one did numbers, and that was phenomenal. And that was an Air Force One. Just to see what he did to an Air Force One,
Right.
you know, like you said, like that's us. We
That's
grew up
it.
on Air Force Ones. You know, that's strictly
Had to
90s.
have 'em. That's Harlem, New York, and
Chicago,
no,
right?
Chicago.
Yeah, like-
you know, Detroit.
Right. So
know?
to see him make everybody be like, I want an Air Force One. Him and Virgil.
right.
Virgil, like what they did with the Air Force Ones, like it was mind-boggling to me because I've never seen so many people hyped over an Air Force One.
Yeah. What would you know? I think I know the answer to this, but what would be the Chicago shoe? You know, again, everybody thinks East Coast, and again, you know, our big cities on the Midwest East Coast, Cortez. Out on the West Coast, okay? So what's the Chicago shoe?
And to be honest, not even joking, Timberlands. They wear them all year round. I've known some people who wear them in the summer, and I'm just like, man, aren't your feet hot, man? And nope, they got them on all year
Tim,
round. So
what's your favorite Tim collab then?
man, to be honest, the Wale Timberland collab, yeah,
Okay,
that was
that's hot.
probably one of the best Timberland collabs that I've seen.
That's hot.
But-
That's a Vibram soul. That's a sneaker soul. That's an athletic soul.
You know,
so
so
don't sleep.
that's why I was like, and that's a Chicago shoe everybody got on Timberland. So
Right.
that, to be honest, it would be Timberlands.
Yeah, is there a resale market? I'm just curious, since we're talking about it.
No, there's no market. It's just everybody just the
Right.
wheat Tims. It's just, that's
Yeah,
a
the
must.
wheat Tims.
It's
There
a
it
must in
is.
Chicago. It's a must.
There it is. So, you know, again, sneaker only. What's your fave, you know?
Air Jordan ones. Air Jordan
I
ones.
knew that answer.
Like
knew that
I
answer,
just
but-
they go with everything.
Right.
Like just like the Chicagos, the band ones, especially the band ones. Like the band ones literally go with everything.
right.
Like I look up to Phileas London. You ever heard of him?
Yeah.
He's
No,
like
not
he's
familiar.
like a big fashion icon overseas and
yeah,
stuff. So
yeah,
like
yeah, the singer.
he wears like he wears band ones with almost everything, and like just seeing him what he does with that, I was like, wow, like
He's
you
got
really
crazy
it's
style.
crazy style. Like he wore a whole blue jean outfit. Now
Yeah.
you wouldn't think blue jean would go with band ones, but when I saw that, I was like, wow, like he really showed that this shoe, you know, can do
That's it.
everything. And then I had to think about it. I'm like, what makes the shoe go everything? It's the that white, you know, strip that
Yeah.
negates the red and black. So
Right.
you know, it kind of gives you that I
Yeah.
can wear it with everything.
Yeah.
So I
it's
had
a
to-
beautiful- It's a beautiful shoe, and again, you know, I went to the Unbanned premiere, and you know, it gave me such a respect for that shoe as such an icon that it is.
Right.
You know,
It's-
and we talk about it in the course. You know, we talk about how in 1985 it came out,
Mm-hmm.
and how there was so much publicity over the fact that you know Michael could not wear them, and
Exactly.
you know he took the fine and did it anyway.
Did it anyway.
You know, and represented everybody. So I love it. You know, there's a lot of, some people say that didn't really happen. I don't know. What are your thoughts? You know, they say it could have been folk, urban legend. What do you think?
To be honest, I think it happened because you know it's MJ. At that time he
He's
was
never
doing.
said no. It
No,
didn't.
right, and
You
at that
know?
time he did what he wanted to do, basically. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
man was the man, and you know, just seeing that shoe, just that first
Well,
shoe.
they showed the letter that was sent, you know, and
Mhm.
so, but they still left a little question at the end of the movie, you know,
Right.
but they showed a letter that was sent from Nike saying that you should not do this.
Exactly.
You know, so it's an interesting story. It's all about Chicago, you know, and that's the beautiful thing about where we are right now is we're in Chicago, you know, and we're representing sneaker culture. You know, any guys you feel like need to be shouted out in the house right now, you know? Anybody, you know, we got representing Chicago sneaker culture?
Actually, yeah, I want to shout out all the people that I network with. So like Boneyard Chicago, that's you know, Chicago Emporium, Fleet Club Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, I work with all those people. You know, Atlas, he's not from Chicago, but he's from Indiana. But he's doing great right now in Indiana. He got that whole thing on lock. And I just love to see what my friends and my people who have these stores and see what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. It's grassroots. What's your favorite store in the city right now? What's hot? Because I have a map on the Sneaker School website where I'm starting to map the locations of the hottest spots. Give me a few that I need to have on the map. Tell me a little bit about that.
Boneyard, definitely Boneyard Chicago. Definitely.
Okay.
A lot of retro, anything old school you want is there. They always have that in stock. T-shirts, wrestlers, you know,
Right.
all those old school T-shirts.
Wow.
And you know, retro, that's coming back right
Oh
now.
man,
Like, the
come on!
whole-
You know, I grew up in Cobo Hall in Detroit.
Yeah,
you know,
so-
I was watching the old school cats. You know,
So
don't let me go
de-
there.
Definitely them, and then I would have to say Chicago Emporium. They always have like the hottest sneakers. Definitely early. always, you know. So I would definitely go check them out too, and Fleet Club Chicago. I usually go there. They have all the Yeezys. Anything Yeezy, Adidas, they got it. So like, if you're into that, I tell people to go there too.
Yeah. See, we got a lot of people from out of town in here. You know, you got to tell them where they got to go. You know?
Oh man,
So
I can tell you, I've been to plenty of consignment shops. Like I said, if you're ever in Indiana, you can go to Atlas, and if you're ever in Carbondale, Autopsy, the autopsy.me. That's an Instagram. You can check them out. They're very small, subtle, like nice, like consignment shop, and it was
hot.
Yeah, it's very nice.
You know, I mean, consignment right now is bigger than it's ever been as well. You know, we just had Urban Necessities up, KC from Urban Necessities, and he really broke down, you know, consignment. Tell me a little bit about what you think about, you know, consignment versus, you know, going with new shoes. You know, what are your thoughts?
So my thing with consignment, I tell people, if you don't want to take the time to go out of your way to go sell a shoe, or you feel like, you know, it's a lot of hassle just to get this person a shoe, or, you know, sell this person a shoe, that's where I feel like consignment really comes into play. Well, you know, so you go to the store, do your research also, because, you know, you don't want to just put your shoes in everybody's store. So you want to do your research and see if they have a high selling rate, and most of these stores nowadays do, because like I said, the culture is just at an all-time high. If you have the hype stuff, you know, and it's constantly there, you're going to attract those people to go there. So for consignment, I've done it. I started off with consignment. So, you know, I still do it even with my, you know, my friends who own these stores. If they need pairs, I'll put it on consignment. Like, if it's basically the convenience part. That's what I say, the convenience part. And most of these stores, they'll sell your shoe in a week.
Right.
So if you bring it in there Monday, and then, you know, next Monday they call you, it's like, that's a breeze for you.
So where do you think are the best spots if you are a reseller to place?
I would have to say Chicago Emporium, but they usually buy, you know. But Boneyard, they don't do consignment either. But Fleet Club, they usually do consignment, and Autopsy, they usually do consignment. But most of these stores are like straying away from consignment because of just how good the fakes are that are coming out. That, like, you know.
Yeah, you might catch one. Well, you know, again, thank you so much for taking some time. Right now, you know, you just gave us an in-depth look at the industry here in Chicago and the game in Chicago. So thank you for taking
appreciate
your time
you. Thank you for
and
having
sharing
me.
that with people who are trying to learn about sneaker industry at Sneaker School and at SneakerCon. Okay, so thanks.
Always get a team. Get a team. If you're gonna start
Get
off
a
with
team.
anything, get a team.
Collaboration.
Make sure everybody's on the same page, and it will get you far in life. And just be cool. Just being cool gets you places too. You don't have to do anything extra or nothing. Just do what you got to do with the shoes, and just, you know.
That's it. That's
for
it.
the culture.
That's advice, expert advice. Again, thank you so much, man. Darren, you're great. Mr. Winter, again, first time on camera. Okay, don't sleep. This is behind the
For
scenes.
people who know me,
this is exclusive.
They're probably looking at this right now like,
Exclusive.
oh, that's him. You know, so.
The plug, the Chicago plug. Don't sleep. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, one.